Some breaking news for you into our newsroom right now. The FBI has fired embattled agent Peter Strzok over anti-Trump texts he exchanged with former FBI lawyer Lisa Page. As you know, the two were having an affair, and the controversy continues. Strzok, of course, helped lead the FBI's probe into the Russian interference ahead of the 2016 election. Strzok's attorney literally moments ago issuing a statement, and it reads, in part, the decision to fire Special Agent Strzok is not only a departure from typical bureau practice, but also contradicts Director Wray's testimony to Congress and his assurances that the FBI intended to follow its regular process in this and all personnel matters. Joining me now to comment on this breaking news, Congressman Darrell Issa, a member of both the House Judiciary and Foreign Affairs Committee. What's your take on his firing? This is pretty big news.
It is, and hooray for an agency that finally did something right, which is recognize there's no place in the FBI for somebody whose bias, whose conduct, whose statements show that they were not willing to be fair and that, in fact, they compromise the very integrity or bring into question the integrity of the FBI. So hooray that they didn't wait any longer. They waited a long time.
Yeah, this is a 22-year veteran who displayed clear bias against Trump in those text messages. What took so long?
Well, the process of getting rid of anyone in federal government other than political appointees is long and laborious. They're usually covered by one or even two different protections, the Civil Service Act and unions. And the process goes on forever. You might have noticed that at the IRS, people fired in the sort of Lois Lerner era were typically rehired, over 200 of them. So the process of firing them is long. The bars from rehiring generally aren't affirmative. And this is one of the problems in government. You know, the Congress acted specifically for the Veterans Administration to make it easier to fire people because our veterans were dying for lack of quality care. So it is a problem. It continues to be. But this is one of those cases in which the goods were on this individual in no uncertain way, and he had really brought shame on the FBI, an agency in which most agents keep their politics to themselves and keep their biases literally out of their conduct.
Well, with the exception of James Comey, of course.
I said most.
Yeah, exactly, and I knew exactly what you meant. He was integral to the Bureau for several reasons, but two major investigations. Obviously, the Russia investigation, which, again, there was bias there, and then also the Hillary Clinton email investigation. You know, Lindsey Graham has obviously come out, and he says that there should be a second special counsel to oversee this because of the concern of the few bad eggs that you refer to in the FBI, that they feel maybe there is a bias here. By firing Strzok, does that perhaps qualm the concerns of the Mueller investigation being partisan?
No, you really can't do it that way. Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, did what he could do under the IG Act. But you do need somebody with subpoena authority, somebody that demands documents, many of them outside the Department of Justice and from former employees, to get to the bottom of it. You can't have an agency investigate itself effectively, but particularly when it's the agency that has all the power. You might remember that one of the things that Strzok did was he held on to his ability to personally declassify information, which meant he could leak information by declassifying it, making it public. He held on to a lot of those capabilities that helped him essentially create a legal way to spy on a candidacy of President Trump.
Does this further boost, then, Lindsey Graham's claim that he believes that a second special counsel should be appointed? Because let's remember, you need to have prosecutorial power in order to continue to, hold these people accountable, and there needs to be accountability here, and sadly, within the FBI itself.
Well, the Attorney General oversees all of these, and he has not recused himself from corruption and misconduct within his agency, Department of Justice. So it is completely within the ability of the Attorney General to name an individual, perhaps a U.S. attorney or even a retired U.S. attorney, to investigate this agency, to have full access, to have subpoena authority, and to get to the bottom and the top of all of this past misconduct. Without it, we, the American people, and even the president, can't have confidence in the Department of Justice, and we need that.
All right, Congressman Darrell Issa, thank you very much. And if you're just joining us once again, breaking news, Peter Strzok fired, who once led the Russia investigation into the interference of the 2016 election.
Development there, huh?
Huge.
20 minutes past the hour. We'll get more on that. We'll give it to you. In the meantime, this morning, how did an airline